talk some more. Let's round off the first episode of Review That with a little trip abroad. Pair of prospects, really, really impressing. I know each of you are high on. I'm right there with you guys on both of them, but I want to talk about it. Let's start with Nikola Topić. Just really talented Serbian point guard. I don't know if a player has had as hot of a start with this class and helped their stock as much as he has. I mean, he's potentially a top 10 guy right now. I know we're trying to warm up Metcalf to, be a fan of Serbia, but we'll see if that comes around. Corey, I want to start with you because I feel like you're banging the drum for Topić as a potential top 5 guy. Like, is this a dark horse for getting in that top 3? Is this legit? Is this a small sample size that's going to water down, or is this a holy crap, this could be a franchise point guard?
He might be the number 1 guy on my board by the end of this draft cycle. Look, he's 6'6".
Is about to blow up. This is great. No.
Look, I'm searching for anybody to love at the top because the cupboard's so bare right now. But when I watch Nikola Topić play basketball, I start feeling stuff down low. I mean, the dude.
Pause.
I mean, he can hoop. Right? He's weird. He's funky. I compared him to like Serbian Bob Cousy because he's like a little bit stiff looking when he dribbles the ball, but he's also oddly bendy and flexible. But the way that he gets into the paint, I think Collier is the only prospect in this class that can match him. It's a very different way, but the guy's finishing almost 70% in the half court. He does it with touch. He does it with finishing on angles. His footwork is kind of unbelievable. And just his spatial awareness of where guys are that he could slither through, it's really special. And then you add on to the fact that the kid is a stud playmaker. Like, he can make almost any pass in the book, live dribble, either hand, cross court. He paints the corners. He can push in transition. I think the shot is believable to me. He's not a dead eye shooter by any stretch of the imagination, but we're talking about a 6'6" guard that offensively, I think, can really run your team. Now, we could talk about the defense. I won't. But we could if we wanted.
Not much to talk about.
There's not much to write home about. But if he's actually going to be a legit engine and be able to, run your team and give you a top tier offense, and I think he's capable of that potentially, we know that means that your defense isn't going to be as important. And at 6'6", you're at least going to be able to hide him a little bit easier than you might a guy who's like 6'1", 6'2". But offensively, he's the real deal, man. He's got stuff to his game. He really does. He's hard to guard. He's playing in a grown man league, and shout out Mike Schmitz. I remember talking about this league when it came to Nikola Jovic, and he was like, the thing you got to realize, this dude is playing in a league of dudes that are huge. So he's 6'10", and he doesn't even look big. So he's doing this against monstrous size. I think Topić is the real deal, and I think we should start getting on board. I think it's going to pick up steam. He's going to be a top 5 guy by the end of this draft.
I mean, here's my thing with Topić. I think this draft is having more questions about everyone than we're finding out. Like, my hot take is saying, if you're wanting a star in this draft, you're going to be in for a rude awakening. But if you're looking for a very good complementary piece, you got something. This is the draft. I think if you're a team that's rebuilding and you get another piece alongside someone, you're going to have fun with this. But Topić, Metcalf, I get the outside shot concerns. I know you're steaming out of your ears like a cartoon character, but I feel like Topić brings so much to the table when you check boxes of like, what can he do on a basketball court? Okay, 6'6", great size. He's got handles. He gets into the paint. He has unbelievable vision. He's great feel. Is that checking enough boxes that we should be like, okay, well, maybe the shot's not perfect. And I think his last 3 games, he's like 5 for 19 or something. And he's 30% on the year. So yes, Metcalf, I've been doing my homework too. But is there enough good stuff with a 6'6" guy that we should be more excited and we should be buying into this working? Like, does he bring enough to an NBA floor, or are the concerns legit, Metcalf? This is your time. Go crazy.
Yes to all of it. No, so I've come around on Topić. I have him up at 10 now, and part of that is due to the rest of the class. But Corey referenced Mike Schmitz earlier, and I think is a couple years ago, but an interview that he did with someone talking about his process, and he's said one of the first things he always does is try and identify if a prospect has an elite skill, and Topić does. He has at least 2 of them where he is an elite at rim finisher, where he's taking the majority of his shots at the rim and finishing around 70%, which is absurd in that league, let alone any league, but especially this one, and especially for a guy who's purely a below the rim finisher. His scoring touch and craft and creativity there is absolutely absurd. And then the playmaking. He's probably the best playmaker in this class. So when you have both those offensive skills, especially in this class, it's like, okay, that's probably enough for you to be at minimum a top 10 guy. The shot, I don't buy. It is what it is, but I mean, 30.9% from 3, 14.3% on pull-up 2s, only 1 of 7. It's slow. It's a little funky. I think he has great scoring touch, but it doesn't seem to be translating to the shot. And as the volume goes up on those 3-point attempts, the percentage is going down. So I'm skeptical, but at the end of the day with him, I'm not sure it's going to matter. The defense is non-existent with him. Again, I'm not sure it's going to matter because the rim pressure, the ability to control every moving part of an offense is so impressive for someone his age, doing it in that professional league with those seasoned veterans that at their size, that physicality. I mean, and with a draft with so many question marks, he just kind of keeps providing answers of what he excels at by the game.
I think you put it perfectly. I mean, we're always, when scouting, evaluating these guys, we're like, what is their NBA skill set? Like, that's the first thing we try to figure out. And Topić immediately to jump out when it comes to his feel, his playmaking, vision. Like, if we dropped him on the San Antonio Spurs right now, the team probably looks drastically different, even with how young he is and everything. I'm just saying, for his feel and what he can do and set up players like Victor. And I don't know, just very, very interesting.